start with Dan Savage.
Hey, Gary, what are you guys looking to improve upon as you head tonight against the Bucks? And, what was the focus and tone of shoot around today?
Just staying connected defensively. On the road, we had played against, two teams that, we had rules that we were supposed to, typically stay to. And we kind of maybe four guys are on task and then the other person was, late. So we just really tighten up those principles of where we're supposed to be defensively when, certain things happen defensively that we typically supposed to do. So coach just reiterated, when we're right, how good we can be defensively.
Dan, back to you.
Gary, the last time you played the Bucks, that was a big playoff series for you. Could you just touch a little bit about what that meant to you and how much you grew from having the opportunity to cover Giannis for an entire playoff series?
It was just, more than anything, it just elaborates where you are as an individual player. But, just as a team dynamic, you see how well they play, to their principles. And, I think right now they're the number one offensive team. And, those guys stick to what they do. And even in the bubble, that was the same thing. Playing a team so many times, you realize, they don't deter from their principles. And I think that's one of the biggest things is knowing, tonight we have to, we don't have to be perfect, but we have to do what we do, Magic basketball, to be able to give ourselves a chance, from today on until, the end of the year at, being very successful and, being a team that, when you play them, they're going to do what they do.
Josh Robbins, The Athletic.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, good morning. Given how little time has elapsed since the playoff series and how often that you all played the Bucks 5 times in the playoffs, how similar was the scouting report or the rules that you learned today to that playoff series?
As you know, most NBA teams don't change that much, but they're very similar as far as they stretch the floor. Defensively, they don't give up layups and paint touches. So, you got to just, stick to those things. What they're good at, you can't fall into that trap. So you can't take off trying to get to the basket knowing, that there's going to be, 4 jerseys waiting on you. So it's one of those things of being aggressive and, being prepared and really, honestly, to a team like this, sticking to the things that are set up for us to be successful.
Josh Cohen, OrlandoMagic.com.
Hi, Gary. What did DJ Augustin mean to you? I know you only played with him for half a season, but did you learn a lot from him and his leadership?
Yeah, DJ. He's for sure one of those guys that he leads by example. He doesn't say much, outside of what coach is preaching, but he learned, I guess, from being with coach the time he was there, what coach wanted and how to execute it. And that was one of the beauties of coming on this team is just seeing how he orchestrated the offense when he was in, and I played a lot with him in the second unit. So, he meant a lot. He was a great vet, as far as just off the court, always trying to give us just different gems of preparation and, how to carry yourself as a young professional.
Josh Robbins.
Gary, I'm curious if you've seen Markelle in the days after his injury, maybe today, and if so, what your message is to try to keep his spirits uplifted.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple times. And I've texted him as well. I've never been through any injury like that personally, but just his story itself is just kind of built around him achieving the so-called impossible. And, just from the moment he stepped into the NBA, he's kind of battled adversity. So this is nothing new to him. So just, I texted him, I was just like, we've been here before, as far as, your mindset. So I just, I'm here for you and just, do what you do, and Markelle, the things he's overcome is, it's very, very I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's unique to see, and it's one of those things that's just most people can't go through the things that he's gone through and still come out on top. So I'm excited to see where he is in the year to come when he's come back fully healthy. And everyone, again, we talk about it, me and him talk about it like before the season, is how much people doubt him and his abilities. So I'm excited. I'm rooting for him. I know he's going to come out better than ever.
Dan Savage.
Gary, tonight you guys will be wearing your City Edition uniforms, the white and orange ones. Just curious, if you've gotten a good look at them and what your thoughts are on those jerseys.
I haven't seen them in person. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, I actually do like those. I know me and a couple other guys, we like the light gray, because last year it was really dark and orange, and it's kind of, it was a weird a little bit, but we like the last ones because that was the first real orange jerseys. But this year with the lightness of all of it, and then the orange, it's really like it's nice. T. Ross won't stop talking about him. So
Dante Markelle.
Hey Gary, you guys know you're going to knock down shots eventually. You're a much better 3-point shooting team than what's happened the last couple of games. Well, what's the message and the mindset need to be just to these kind of stretches happen? Unfortunately, how do you get your way out of it?
Just keep shooting them. I think for me personally, early on, I couldn't throw it in the ocean, and as time is trickling on, they're starting to fall down, and I think that's the tell of our team and our mindset we have to be going forward is just keep shooting them. Don't take tough ones. Just be ready to shoot them and take the appropriate shots. I think guys go through different waves of trying to make a shot. Whether they're rushing it, they're taking bad shots, and then it's just then your confidence is just completely shot. So I think for me, I went through a slow phase of just, making sure that I'm doing the right things, taking the appropriate shots, and then, slowly but surely the numbers, fall in line, and it's a long season, and it's better to do it now than, when things are, in the middle or at the end for a team to go cold. Eventually the shots will fall, the rhythm will be, as it's supposed to be. I think right now offensively, with all the different changes in the dynamics, people are in different positions and situations, so we're going to get it. I think that's one thing coach talked about is just staying the course and, trusting, your shot and trusting the things that we do.
Josh Robbins.
Gary, Jordan Bone is one of your newest teammates. What have you learned about him in the month and a half or so, or 2 months, whatever it is, since training camp started?
He's ready. He's always ready, and that when his number was called, he doesn't waver at all. He listens, he learns. Whatever coach asks of him, one time, and he's one of those guys that just gets it done. The next play, he's just like not startled by the moment at all. I think both games on the road, as soon as he came in, he was wide open and didn't hesitate to knock down a shot and get into our offense. For him to be able to play point all throughout training camp through the season, and now for him to kind of be playing a little bit of two, it shows that his dynamic to learning fast. Because AG handles it a little bit now that Markelle's out. So for him to be able to just slide over to the 2 spot and have been learning the 1 spot all year, in a heavy offensive book that we have, it's very, it's noticeable to see as a young guy really catch on that fast to, different changes.
Any final questions for Gary? Thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you.